Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Divinely Transformed, where freedom begins right here, within. Together we break the chains of karma and reclaim our power and rise into divine sovereignty. Your path to autonomy and freedom starts right here. Welcome or welcome back to the channel, whichever the case may be. I am so glad that you're here today with me. This reading is going to be for Aries. You could have Aries anywhere in your chart for this to resonate. And of course, you could be dealing with someone who has prominent Aries placements in their chart. Please remember that these readings won't resonate with everyone. So if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. These readings are only confirmation of what you already know. Also, I would like to say that time is fluid and not linear, which means that for each individual person watching, that means this could be past, present, or future energy if it does resonate. So with all that being said, before I get started, I do have daily content on TikTok still. That link is in the description box below. I decided to eliminate X for a couple reasons. It doesn't really matter. That link has been removed, and I'm sticking with TikTok and YouTube. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I did get a couple new decks that I'm going to just add to the readings. They might make the reading slightly longer, but it shouldn't be too bad if I stay on target. Archangel Michael, Holy Spirit, what are the most important messages that you would like Aries to know? Please and thank you. And their cross watchers, of course. All right. What's up, Aries? Perfect timing. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. I wonder what perfect timing is. Very cool. Ooh. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a different card. These are the Egyptian Oracle deck. And I'm just going to choose 3 cards for the reading. All right, Aries. What's the most important messages for Aries? We've got protection. Well, if you had any doubt, Aries, that you are divinely protected, there shouldn't be any. If you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you will know if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you are absolutely 100% divinely protected. But you have to know that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in order for this to resonate. We've got Genesis 24 Taweret. Genesis. What's Genesis? Genesis is origins, the beginnings, right? This is basically where you come from, your ancestry. The beginning of... What's the beginning about? We'll find out. And then the third one is being ordinary. But it was in the reverse. For sure. Because I had to flip it around. I think you watched that. Yeah. It says being ordinary. Number 29, 19, moot. Very interesting. Aries, do you want to be ordinary but you're not? Well, I think I'm going to put that back in the reverse because Aries, there's nothing ordinary about you. And this has something to do with your lineage, the beginning of your story. So, let's find out more about what this stuff is. What are the most important messages for Aries? Please and thank you. Aries and cross watchers. The messages for the highest good of all. Okay, we got the Ten of Pentacles reversed. So that's over the protection card. So, Aries, there's some kind of issue with your money. Maybe it's tied up with someone else. Maybe there's a lot of debts. I don't know. But there's something here with this Ten of Pentacles where there's a loss of some kind. So this could be massive amount of money lost. This could be debts with the Ten of Pentacles reverse. This could be money connected to someone else who is being reckless with money and assets. This could be a complete divorce. There's a lot of things it could be. So take what resonates and leave the rest. So what do we have clarifying Genesis, please? Gotcha. All right. So we've got the Eight of Cups in the reverse. So Aries, your origin story is staying stuck in uncomfortable situations because you got used to it. And you fear change, Aries. And that's been a story like your entire life. Well, it's time to break that story. Because this is you ignoring, leaving emotionally unfulfilling situations behind. This is keeping yourself stuck in it and learning to adapt and cope to disappointment. I think here is there's like a family lineage that has a family passed down karmic trait of exactly this. So this isn't something that you've done all your life, Aries. This is something that you've learned from your family lineage that has done this all of their life too. And you've just adapted to the family pattern because it's been ingrained in you. However, this is soul crushing. This is your head and your heart are not aligned. This is your head overriding your emotional disappointment or discontentment, whatever the case is, you ignoring that, suppressing that, and not looking at it. It comes out as shadow behavior because you're suppressing a part of your soul that is like, hey, this situation is hurting me. But when you ignore that still small voice inside for a really long time, that still small voice goes away. And then you become spiritually dead inside and you just really want to die. And then you can proceed to have a spiritual experience from there or not. But this is definitely emotional insecurity and emotional immaturity, because this is ignoring emotions to stay stuck and trapped in contracts. Okay? I think that's what this Ten of Pentacles is about. It's about stuck in contracts. that you're not happy in, you're disappointed in. You don't want to be there, but you still stay there because that's the expectation. There is no other way, because the family does not allow anyone to step outside of the family tradition of staying within a marriage, no matter how unfulfilling or unsatisfying or whatever it is. Some of these marriages are absolutely abusive, and they stick together anyway. They just take the abuse. I'm not saying that there is abuse here, but I'm just saying that that's on the table. It could be a part of the thing. Because if you think about it, psychological conditioning is unconsciously abusing another person. So this is what I'm saying. Whenever your parents are psychologically conditioning you to follow their pattern, or you won't be accepted in the family, then you have no choice but to stay within the lines, to stay within the family, because you're close to the family. But the family has conditional love for you because there's expectations that are attached for their love and acceptance and support. And you know that, Aries, and this is what's been terrifying you. Because you're used to that familial support. You know that whenever you leave this situation behind, you're not going to have the backing of your family. But guess what? You don't need their support. You don't need their support, and you don't need their approval. You just don't. You've been conditioned to think that that's what you need. Well, if that's the way they want to be, you don't need that, Aries. Cross-watcher, whoever I'm talking to. You don't need conditional expectations on your relationships. That is okay, so whenever you're psychologically conditioning someone, it is a form of brainwashing. Yes. It is a form of psychological abuse. Stay within the lines or you won't be accepted anymore. And the family makes sure that, they have this, the optics of looking close, but they're not really as close as they say. Because if you really watch many or all of these family members, their words and their actions do not match. And it's because they are used to operating in these karmic patterns. And it suppresses their heart chakra. It suppresses everything. It suppresses their complete chakra alignment. And it causes tremendous imbalance in the body and in the mental sphere and the emotional sphere and the spiritual sphere. So it just balloons. So let's find out about being ordinary in the reverse. Six of Swords in the reverse. Okay, all right. These are two cards of wanting to leave but returning or staying. Okay? So, you can't be ordinary, right? And the old life isn't ordinary. Okay? Just throwing that out. Your psychological conditioning is not normal. No one should be conditioned to stay confined in a marriage contract that they do not want to be in because they're not being treated well, because funds are being mismanaged, or whatever the case is, and it's probably all of that and more. Okay? So, there's no going back to the past. You can't go back to that. I mean, that's the problem, okay? Because you can mentally check out, but your emotions are within you, causing chaos, Aries, because you can't experience peace, because you won't go. It's time to go. It's the perfect timing, Aries. Whatever this is. This doesn't have to be a marriage. This could be a job that you've had for 10, 20, whatever years. And now that you're not being treated right, or you got reduced hours, or people that are getting hired recently are getting paid more than you, or whatever the case is, like, it could be that too. So this isn't just about a marriage. This is about whatever contracts that you are legally bound in. Okay? So it could be anything in that arena. All right? And it's not going so well. This could be a business partnership that is going south because your business partner is overspending and creating debt, and you don't have savings anymore. So whatever situation resonates for you, Aries, is what works. There's multiple options here, but that doesn't mean that, I mean, that's how tarot works. Sometimes there is multiple options for a reading. And then you just take what fits. And none of it fits, then this ain't your reading. But Aries, it's time to go. And it's the perfect time. I even think it is perfect astrologically. For people, and it's activating people that are resonating with this, giving people spiritual awakenings with Aries sun, moon, rising, north node, Venus, Jupiter, maybe Mars. I don't know. But those are the main ones in that order. But there's no going back. And you have to go. Because you know you can't take it no more. You've waited long enough. You've drug your feet long enough. It's the perfect timing. So take it. We got the King of Cups in the reverse, Aries. You've got water in your chart somewhere. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And the King of Cups is in the reverse. You are emotionally detached from whatever this situation is. Whatever this situation is, it FAFO, and they found out, and you're over it. You don't care. You are emotionally detached. You have no love for this situation. You don't have no time for this situation, and you don't put any energy into this situation. That's what you've been taught. That's like your brain telling your heart that it don't matter. Because I got this contract, marriage, business, whatever contract, work of whatever kind. But if your heart's not in it, and you don't care about it. You absolutely hate it. So what the fuck are you doing? The Knight of Swords clarifies the Eight of Cups. This Knight of Swords is in the reverse, as well as the Eight of Cups. You're staying in this situation, and it is volatile. There is either chaos and fights happening on the regular, and or patterns of intervals of silent treatment. No communication. Learned behavior. It's what your ancestors always did. It's what you've always done. And it's worked. Until it doesn't. So now, you're being faced with this. Are you going to do what you've always done and get the same results? Or are you going to do something different, despite how afraid you might be, and just do it? Because now's the time. There's another opportunity for some of you. For some of you, it's the first opportunity. It depends on who's watching. Let's clarify the Six of Swords reverse. Oh, and we got the Seven of Swords. That's lying to yourself. Yeah. Every time you go back to the old life, the old thing, the old marriage, the old spouse, the old job. You long for everything to be ordinary when it isn't, and you keep going back to it, and you keep lying to yourself with the Seven of Swords, saying to yourself, oh, maybe it'll be different this time. How many times have you tried? How many times has it been since it's working to be different, but nothing happens? It's time to stop lying to yourself. Because self-deception is part of the conditioning. You've been conditioned to condition yourself, which is even more fucked up because you're policing yourself out of fear so you can stay in line in this family unit or in this work unit or whatever the fuck this contract is for you, Aries. And yeah, I'm cussing a little bit. I'm feeling pretty passionate about this because what you've always done is what you've always done, and it hasn't worked up to this point, and it's not going to work again. So it's time to do something different. And now's the time to do something different. Just being real. Maybe with all that chaos in your face, with all this fighting and commotion, let's say, for example, this is a nagging boss, okay? Knight of Swords in the reverse. They hate you. Low-key. They treat you like shit. They don't communicate with you regularly about important stuff. They come in and they blame you for everything, and they fight with you. Whenever something happens, whenever something goes wrong, it's going to be your fault. Or, if this is a marriage, this is having your spouse screaming in your face, keeping your nervous system jittery, full of anxiety, always on edge. That's abusive conditioning too. Oh yes. That is psychological abuse. To always come consistently with emotional and mental chaos and manipulation at regular intervals so someone can't calm down, someone can't, relax, be at peace. God forbid. Because you don't know peace where you're at. You got to leave for your peace because you ain't going to get it where you're at. And you can't stay. You got to go. You got to go. And since we're dealing with abusive conditioning, I'm dealing with someone or some people in my collective whose nervous systems are all out of whack. And they're in a constant state of panic and fear. And they're just frozen. And if that is you, I've got some new cards for some coping skills to really help you through that. So you can make these important decisions for yourself and be able to carry them out. So I'm going to pull 3 different coping skills from this deck, and hopefully one or all of them or a combination of a couple of them can help you. Gratitude attitude. In 5 minutes, write down what you are thankful for. Take a picture of something that brings you joy. Do this for 1 week. What do you notice? Challenge. Keep this going for a month. What do you notice? Yes, because, all right, so we need to get out of this vibration and into a more alignment with peace. And the attitude of gratitude is a really good place to start. There was a time, and I did this for a long time, several months, where I would literally, every day, and sometimes twice a day, I would literally go through in prayer everything that I was grateful for, everything that I could think of that day. And lots of times I'd be repeating myself. Sometimes I would think of stuff that was different on different days. And that really just moved me so much. And so I'm more in an automatic state of just being grateful because whenever something bad happens, I'm looking for the silver lining. I'm looking for the best of the bad situation. And then I find it, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have the best of a bad situation. Okay? And whenever you're in the midst of stuff like that, you can just be grateful that, whatever, be grateful for something different because it's going to lead you where you want to go, Aries. All right, so that was gratitude attitude. This one, and I love how the King of Cups reverse needs to be in the attitude of gratitude to turn this around, right? All right. So this joy thief is clarifying this nasty person that you're dealing with, Aries. They steal all your joy. They cause so much chaos. They get you ungrounded all the time, scared, nervous, angry, anything negative to keep you out of a feeling of peace. I don't know if they consciously do this purposely or not, but they have an entity attached to them that's calling all the shots. And that's just even more of a compounded reason for you to get away from them. They have an entity attached to them. Spending your precious time and energy on comparing yourself to others is a sure way of robbing yourself of a joyful life. And that's exactly what this other person does all the time. They compare themselves to everyone, and it makes them miserable. So then they take it out on everybody else. They're not happy, no one's happy. No one's happy anyway, even when they are happy. Who have you compared yourself to in the last 24 hours? And did it make you feel more insecure about yourself? Or did it make you feel more motivated to improve? I don't know. Maybe you have some patterns of comparing yourself. If you do, check yourself. And if you don't, just skip it, because this is mainly about this Knight of Swords reversed that is in your environment that is raising hell. And it's been going on for a long ass time. Whether this is a job or a business or a marriage, it's some type of a contract. Someone wants out. The other person wants it to continue because they want everything to stay the same. They want you to stay there so they can continue to abuse and condition you. Ain't no one got time for none of that. Not only that, but no one should have to endure any of that. Over the Seven of Swords, we got a 7 here. Celebrate imperfection. You don't have to be perfect. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is famous for its unstable foundation. What is a quirk that you can learn to appreciate in someone? What is a quirk that you can learn to appreciate in yourself? We'll start with that first, then someone else. Then pick a personal struggle or a flaw and turn it into something that spreads inspiration. So this is about turning a negative to a positive. Celebrate your imperfections. You're not supposed to be perfect. We are flawed creatures as human beings. And your family has no right to expect you to stay within the parameters of their expectations. They never had that right. Now you know that they don't have that right to do that. So what do you want? Do you want to be free? Or do you want to stay? I tell you, there is so much more benefit to freedom. You need your freedom, or you will die there. Bitter, lonely, alone. It'll probably happen within 20 years because you have a joy thief in your midst. You'll be lucky to make it to retirement. This person will probably stress you out. Do you in before that if you did stay. It's my guess. Write about your thoughts and feelings, Aries. Here's another coping skill that you can use to balance and recenter yourself. I'm going to pick one more of the Archangel Michael advice cards. Here's the first one. Archangel Michael's advice is, thank you, and this is your prayer. Like, this is what you should be praying in order to use the bridge, between the mental plane and the physical plane. The bridge is your throat. You have to speak it into existence. Write about your thoughts and feelings, your prayer. Aries, for you, thank you for helping me tap into my God-given creativity and wisdom so I clearly express myself and glean insight, blessing, and healing. Some of you need to get your thoughts and feelings together before you can even make this exit. And that's okay. If you need mental health support, please go and get it. And I bet you anything that your family doesn't approve of that either, because it's scandalous. you should be able to handle shit on your own. No, that's just toxic. And that's just another way of proving that their love for you is conditional. And it's bullshit. No one should be putting up with conditional love. Eternal love. Here's the prayer for that. Help me perceive all of the love that surrounds me so that I can feel safe receiving, expressing, and giving love. You're probably absolutely terrified. And you probably can't see any love around you because you got this fucking Knight of Swords in the reverse around you, creating chaos and havoc in your life, in your environment. You need to cut that person off. I don't care who they are to you. I know you're legally bound to them, but you can fix that too. All this is fixable. It just goes against your conditioning and the expectations of your family. But you don't owe them this. No, you don't. You don't owe them. You don't owe them your imprisonment. Because right now, Aries, with you staying in this situation, you're a slave. You've been a slave. You've been enslaved to this legal binding situation, whether this is work, job, business, whatever, any combination. So, you've been scared for a long time, and you've been scared frozen and scared silent for a long time. That is creating more trauma because it is keeping you in the environment that you are being degraded in, that you are being abused in, that you are being continued to be conditioned with because this person doesn't stop. This person is insecure, manipulative, deceptive, and they have continued conditioning and brainwashing you. That is reality. And the Knight of Swords in the reverse talks about all of that and more. They also use words and information as weapons, sometimes withholding it, sometimes fabricating it, sometimes exaggerating it. But it's all manipulation. It's all distortion. This person lies by omission, leaving stuff out. This person lies by commission, on purpose, on willingly leaving stuff out. This person has emotional regulation problems. And this person has been coddled and they've been what's the word? They've been enabled to continue to be this way by you staying in this situation willingly, scared to move, scared of the future, scared of what can happen, scared of losing. Well, you're going to lose more. And if you don't take up on this opportunity, it's the perfect timing. Do you want love? Do you want peace? Because you ain't got none of that here. Be bold. Be brave and do what's best for you, because your family has no right to expect you to stay in prison, stay miserable, and stay in a toxic karmic cycle of brainwashing, gaslighting, deception, and abuse of all kinds. You don't deserve it. Period. And your family has no right to expect you to stay in situations like that. And if you tell them and they don't believe you, or they keep reminding you that you got to stay, they only want you to carry on the family pattern. Then that proves that they don't care about your well-being. And that should give you the ammunition that you need to take up on this perfect timing and leave. That's what I have for y'all. If this resonated, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you to everyone who, for supporting all my platforms and all the ways that y'all do. And yeah, thanks again, and I'll talk to y'all soon.